Good morning, everyone. And here it is, just a week before Thanksgiving. We got so many things to be thankful for. I really love my job, and it's getting more and more fun. And every day that you share this with people, something wonderful can happen. And we've got some amazing things, but also I really feel that people that achieve really great things, that really move the world, that really, as Steve Jobs talks about, he says, I just wanted to make a dent in the world. And all of those people, they can look back at a moment in their life where something happened inside them, where a decision was made, something was just an aha moment. And of course, when we do Nikken, we try to make as many of those possible, like this upcoming event that we're talking about, Utah or New York City. Those are designed to have lots of aha events. In fact, we're in a couple of weeks going to have an aha opportunity for leaders to go to home office and just meet for a couple of days and do great things. But I was very impressed with you, Chris, when you talked about your aha moment a few years back. Would you share that and just some of your experiences that led you to this wonderful place where we're going and just getting ready to launch big things? Chris Bruce, love the guy. He's my son-in-law, and we partner together doing Nikken. It's fun to work together, doing great things, lots of synergy, and magic things are happening. So Chris, glad you're on the team.
Yeah, thanks, Dave. Sure. So, yeah, my big, I guess, early aha moment that you asked about last night happened when I was in kindergarten. My parents had split up, and we were doing the shared custody, going back and forth. And my dad at the time was a newly released doctor, and his job was emergency room. And when we would stay with him, sometimes babysitters wouldn't show up, and he'd just take us to work with him. And so we would be in the emergency room. The nurses would make us a little, bed on one of the tables or something like that. And me and my little brother would just, sleep on the table. And one particular night, they had a really bad wreck on the freeway, and it was multiple car pileup, and ambulance after ambulance was coming in, bringing in people. And my dad was doing the triage. And so he was, this one needs to go here, this one needs to go there, this one needs surgery right now. And just going through and just patient after patient after patient. And, it was just chaos, and everything was scary and lots of noise. And so my brother and I was 5 or so, and he was 2. I mean, we were just, huddled up there in the corner with the nurse, keeping us back. And
this was a couple of years ago, so they probably won't do that.
Yeah, they won't do that now. But, back then in Texas, it was a little different. So, 70s, a little freer, a little looser. But, after the chaos started to die down, they were trying to clean up and restock. And it was maybe 3 or 4 minutes after that last patient was sent up, another ambulance came in. And this one was a teenager with a gunshot in the chest. And, my dad was there. He was pretty messed up from all the other people that he'd touched. And so, had blood on his clothes and switched gloves multiple times. But this kid comes in, and all of the surgical suites were full already with these people from the car wrecks. And he just had to do something. And so they essentially just stripped him down to his underwear right there in the hallway, put on fresh scrubs. He's scrubbing his hands and gets in there, and apparently the bullet had nicked an artery right next to the heart, and this kid was bleeding out, but there was no surgical suite. And so just right there in the hallway, my dad climbs up on the gurney with him and has his fingers down inside this kid's chest, essentially plugging the leak long enough that they could start getting blood into him and then get another surgeon to take care of the kid. But just for, several minutes, he was there on the top of the gurney with this kid yelling at nurses and just trying to get all these different things. And I didn't really understand what was going on, but I just saw my dad with his hand in this kid's chest, and, blood was all over the place. He was just covered in it. But he was able to keep the kid alive long enough to get him help. And that was just like my dad's a superhero kind of moment. He just with his hands, he saved this kid's life. I'm a little kid, so didn't understand how complicated it was at the time. But at that point, I decided I was going to be a doctor. I wanted to be able to save lives. I wanted to be able to see the bad thing happen and be able to do something to fix it. And so that was pretty much my goal my whole life, was to be a doctor. But I ended up having a lot of experience in hospitals, not as a doctor, but as a patient. Over the years, I'm legally blind. They didn't discover it till I was the end of third grade. They just thought maybe there was something wrong in my head. I wasn't reading very well, and it turned out it wasn't because I couldn't read. It was because I couldn't see the words on the page or on the blackboard. When they finally got me glasses, it was the first time I saw the hoop on the basketball backboard. I had no idea what they were throwing the ball at for all those years in PE class. Just they'd run up and they'd throw the ball up, and sometimes it was good and sometimes it was bad, and I didn't know why. But I got glasses and I could see. But because of my vision problems, I'd had a lot of injuries already. And so in third grade, I'd already had 4 concussions. I'd had some broken bones. I'd been hit by a car, but just because I didn't see things coming, and they didn't realize that was why. But I didn't suddenly start getting better. And so I still got hit by one more car, was in 2 car wrecks, had an accident where I was learning to walk a tightrope, and the tightrope broke, and I fell 25 feet and cracked my skull. Was in a really bad car wreck on the way to a Sting concert as a freshman in college, right after I'd been accepted to medical school, that caused 3 more concussions, a broken sternum, dislocated hip, dislocated shoulder, 2 broken hands, lots of lacerations, and ended up causing some memory loss and seizures. And so for 3 or 4 years, I had seizures several times a day, which ended my college career. I was just out of therapy, was starting to feel good when I got into the football game that broke my back, and went through all of the stuff with doctors at that point. And just being passed from doctor to doctor to doctor to doctor with my broken back and all of the complications that came with that, and them not really being able to help. And some of them explaining to me, I'd like to do this, but I can't do that because of insurance rules or the hospital rules or whatever. I know it would help you, but I just can't do it. So you have to do this other thing that I know isn't going to help. But that's just the rules. So that's what we're going to do. Kind of killed my dream of being a doctor. I didn't feel like I could live in that kind of environment where I wanted to help and I knew what would help, but wouldn't be allowed to do it. And so I just kind of let that dream die. And then when Nikken came along, Nikken completely changed my life. My back got better. My memory got better. My seizures were gone. I could walk around. I could, form coherent thoughts and talk to people because I wasn't stoned on pain pills all the time. And life just got better. And then when I started sharing it, one of my first experiences was with a woman that I knew who had a back injury the same time I did. But hers had been going on since the 60s. So she'd been 30 years plus in pain. And I had a great experience with Nikken, and it, saved my life. And, 2 years later, I run into her and she's still just as bad. And I realized I hadn't told anybody about what had happened to me. And so I shared Nikken with her, and she had a fabulous experience. And she got all of her pain gone and was able to get her life back. And that's just really what, drives me even now, is just thinking that there's people that I could share it with. And if I don't, who will? We were talking with Everly at our meeting on Thursday night. And one of her thoughts is she wished someone had shared Nikken with her before, because she lost 10 years to pain and the condition that she has. And just within a couple of months, you sharing with her, she's got her life back. So, that's what I think about when I'm, walking down the street or in the grocery store and I see someone who obviously doesn't feel good. Maybe somebody should talk to them. Maybe it should be me. So, yeah, it's neat like that. I was at my daughter's birthday party Tuesday, just this last Tuesday, and one of the other dads there just looked like he was miserable. and went over and started talking to him. Turns out he has some mystery hip injury, and he's gone in for several tests. And, you know, they say, well, we'll get you an MRI or whatever. It'll be in 2 months. So you're on the list. Good luck. But this guy's, you know, he says on, you know, the pain scale, he's a 9 or a 10 all the time. It's affecting his work. It's affecting his sleep. Just hurting. And, you know, he still has 3 weeks to wait for the MRI to even find out what's wrong. And there's nothing the doctors can do to him in the meantime. And so I had a power chip in my pocket, and they gave him the power chip. He put it on his hip and called me that night and says it feels a little better. So I went over and I took him Can't Go Touch and some CM cream, and he put those on and put that on there. And then maybe 2 hours later, I saw him, and he's walking with no limp. He's like, yeah, it's loosening up. Something's going on. And so this guy's been suffering and suffering and suffering and waiting and waiting and waiting. And it took me 2 5-minute conversations and a drive out to his house, which took 10 minutes to share some Nikken with him. And it made a big difference. So, you know, good stuff like that. It works.
Oh, that's pretty amazing. You know, the thing that is scary about doing this, though, is the terrible risk that you take using these products, because isn't there a lot of side effects? What kind of side effects have you heard from people using this technology?
Well, lots of people sleep better. They feel like they have more energy during the day. A lot of them, you know, their anxiety and stress levels go down because they're not working at the old job anymore. That helps a lot. That might be a side effect.
Smile more, have more hope.
Yeah, well, like with me, I had all those bone fractures. You know, I have a condition where my body doesn't metabolize calcium the right way, and so my bones, you know, when I was a teenager, it's not osteoporosis, but very similar. I had about 80% of the normal bone density, and so, you know, one of my fractures, I was playing soccer my freshman year in high school, and it was boys, girls, and PE, and this teeny tiny girl, who she wasn't even 5 feet tall, came up, and we both tried to kick the ball at the same time, and she kicked me in the shin and broke my leg. So just, you know, I was just a fragile kid, but my bone density has gone from, you know, about 80% of normal for my age to about 110, 120% of normal for my age. So my bones are more like a football player's than an 80-year-old grandma. You know, so that was a side effect of sleeping on the mattress, drinking the water, and taking the osteodents and minerals and stuff like that we've had over the years. And the new BDZ is great. I'm starting to hear lots of really good things about that, with people going in and getting their DEXA scans and going, wow, this works. My bones, they're better. So yeah, there's things that happen.
That's probably just happy coincidence, but we'll take that. The thing I love about it is absolutely zero downside. The other thing I really like about this is I believe the product is very predictable if you use it. You're going to get benefit, because you think about just such basic things as what our body needs. You know, we need air and water and sleep and better nutrition, and energy has an aspect, you know, the earth energy and everything. Yep. And if you can enhance and optimize all of those things, it just makes sense that you would feel better. So it's not really a panacea. It's just optimizing what the body naturally needs. You know, the other thing I really like about that is the product is amazingly predictable consistently, but the business, it also, if you use it consistently, it's predictable as well. We were talking a couple of days ago about some experiences that you've had down in California recently. That's kind of fun. People getting excited and sharing that enthusiasm, and when you're enthusiastic, it is contagious and things happen. So now when you share this, you don't have to do this yourself, but on the other hand, it sounds kind of fun. So go ahead, Chris, tell that story.
Well, yeah, well, we have a new consultant who's under a new silver of ours, and you know, he's been in the business maybe 2 months now, and just excited. He got a whole bunch of rolls of the Nikken duct tape, and he went to a running festival, and he cut up little sections of it and had it in his pocket with his business card, and he just went to all the runners and people who were exercising and said, you know, put this on and then call me. Tell me what happens. Put this on. Tell me what happens. And one of the people he passed it to was in some sort of medical profession, and she didn't use it on herself, but she used it on her mom who had an issue. The mom had a good result. And so they met to talk about it, and they were interested in buying products, but they were also kind of interested in doing the business, but they weren't sure. And so Singh, who was the consultant, said, well, there's a Starbucks, down the street. Will you go there with me and we'll do an experiment? And so they went to the Starbucks and they walked in, and he told them, just pick a random guy, any guy in here. And so he said they picked the weirdest looking guy, and went over and just asked the man if he could do an experiment for a couple of minutes, and brought out the insoles and put them on the ground. And so did the mag step test, and it was really dynamic. The guy was amazed and wanted to buy them right there. And Singh asked if anything on him hurt. He says, well, my back has been hurting for years, and there's just nothing I can do about it. Had another piece of tape, says, go in the bathroom, put this on your back, wait a few minutes, and then just tell us what happens. And the guy came out and kind of paced up and down in the Starbucks, and then he started jumping up and down, and came over and says, my back doesn't hurt at all. What's in this tape? And so the lady's like, I guess we're signing up. And so, it's a couple simple demos, for a few cents worth of tape. You can make a big difference in people. Our new, I love signing up consultants in places I want to visit, because then you can go there and it's a tax write-off. So we've got a new one in Hawaii, and she had a friend who was having all of this dizziness and nausea and all of these headaches and stuff. And he even had to sell his house because he had all these stairs and different levels, and he was falling in the house. And for years he's been under treatment, just lots of different drugs, different therapies, and nothing has helped. And she gave him a necklace and a couple pieces of duct tape. And in 2 days, all of his symptoms are gone. And he's just flabbergasted that he spent all this time and money trying to fix it. And it was a little black necklace and some tape that he stuck on his stomach and his back, and he's better. So I'll have to go to Hawaii, darn it.
Yeah. Yeah, Tram is doing really well. I think she probably will be silver soon.
Mm-hmm.
Starting to make lots of calls and sharing it a lot. So woohoo.
Yep. Yes, it's good. Yep, I love it.
Well, Chris, day to day, if you can make Nikken your daily habit, just like using the products daily, what we do daily accumulates. And if you're
Mm-hmm.
talking to people with this, I just think, wow, an amazing product. Of all the companies there is, of all the products you could use, what has a more dramatic impact than Nikken products? And then nobody has them yet. That's right. A business person's dream, to have something so impactful that everybody could use and benefit from, and nobody has it yet. And every time you go out and share it, they've never heard it before. When you do a show and tell, when you demo, most likely that's the first time they're experiencing it. If you hustle with something like that sounds like that could be an amazing opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. And anybody can do this. It doesn't take, a business degree or a law degree or, a bunch of finances to start. You can start with just a couple of little things. We have another consultant in Florida, and she's an older person. And so she has lots of doctors. And so all of her doctors, she's going to them when their appointments, and taking out her Mag Duo, which she says is her favorite product. She just has it in her purse. And she says, can I use this on you and show you what's been helping me? And she did it on one of her doctors. And the doctor says, well, let's have my son look at this. And the doctor has 5 children, 4 of whom are doctors. And she went and rolled it on the son. And the son said, Mom, this is $1 million thing. You got to get into this. And so, just show it to people, and it works. If you keep it in your pocket or your purse and nobody sees it, it's not doing much. But you get it out and you play with it, and it's literally like magic. And people just they literally can't believe what it does, but then it keeps doing it. Day after day after day, it keeps working. So
it's amazing. We've been doing this a while, and it's still a novelty. It's still fun,
yeah.
Still exciting, and every time you share it with a new person. But oh my goodness, what if you knew that the next person you talk to, you could change their whole life if you'll share this with them? That's a fun thought about this, all with the idea that everything to gain and nothing to lose. Kind of like Earl Nightingale. He talked about his son. They were at a high school dance. He was a chaperone sitting next to his son, and he noticed across the dance floor was this really pretty girl, and his son was looking at her, and so he said, "Go ask her to dance." And all of a sudden, the boy kind of stiffened. He said, "Well, she'd probably say no." And Earl Nightingale said, "Well, she could say yes. You know, think about this. If you don't ask, it's an automatic no. But if you ask, yeah, it might be a no, but it might be a yes. So if there's everything to gain by trying and nothing to lose by trying, by all means, ask." And a little while later, he was on the dance floor with a pretty girl. And I always think about that the very same with Nikken, is if you don't ask, the answer is always no. And that's as bad as it gets. No, thank you. And that's a part of the process. You will go through some of those, but if you ask enough, you'll be dancing a lot.
That's true.
Any final thought, Chris?
Just get out there and share it. I mean, I know it's the holiday season, but often this is our best time of year. You know, people are looking for gifts to give, and you know, if they have a friend or a family member who's hurting, you know, what better gift than some relief and some freedom. You know, a good night's sleep. Some people might consider that the best gift they could get. So go out and talk to people, make some new friends, and some of them will probably join you in business, and then you might have to go to really nice places with them.
Yeah, show and tell. That's what it's all about.
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.